Hello students, in the previous video we have seen the applications of EMF measurement. In that we see the first application, solubility product of sparingly soluble salt. Also we can discuss the second application, that is potentiometric determination of pH. In this video we are going to discuss the third application, that is potentiometric titration. In the potentiometric titration we see the first discuss the introduction for this titration. The potential of an electrode dipping into the solution of an electrolyte, which is depends on the concentration or activity of the ions. In that, the EMF of the cell, which is designed to perform the potentiometric titration, and it is given by the E cell is equals to E reference plus E indicator plus E junction. So the reference electrode is supposed to have to know the constant potential. The reference electrode is supposed to have to know the constant potential, and it is independent of the composition of the test solution. The junction potential is kept either low or constant during the titration, and it can be ignored. Thus, under this condition, the indicator electrode can give information about the concentration of the species present in the solution. So, the potentiometric titration are the most accurate type of titration, and hence the potential follows the actual change in activity, and therefore the end point will often coincide with the equivalence point. So, at the equivalence point, the rate of change of the potential is maximum, and the point can be found by plotting a curve of potential versus volume of titrant. So, we see the electrode system. In the electrode system, potentiometric titration, we generally use the reference electrode, and it is usually used as a saturated calomel electrode, and this reference electrode is coupled with the appropriate indicator electrode. In that, the potentiometric titration have the some advantages. Let me see these advantages. The first advantage is that this method can be used to the solution where visual indicator is not available, and for the colored solution. Next application, it is often employed for the analysis of dilute solution with greater accuracy. Next, weak acid and weak base can be titrated against each other. Next application, redox titration can be performed without using external indicator. Next application, potentiometric titration can be carried out on the micro level. Another application, potentiometry make different titrations are the possibles. Next, in addition to the equivalence point of the reaction, further information regarding the reacting substance and its reaction can be obtained by complete recording of titration curve. Next application is that the potentiometric titration can be performed automatically in two ways. First way is that those in which the instrument plot a complete curve on chart paper. Next, those that act to close an electrically operated burette value exactly at the equivalence point. Next application is that the accuracy, which is depends on the ability of the person to measure the volumes accurately and the equilibrium constant of the reactions. Means it is necessary to see that the reaction goes to completion for the accurate result, and this is the most important application for the potentiometric titration, and it is generally more accurate. Another is that the apparatus required is generally inexpensive, reliable, and readily available. These are the some applications of the potentiometric titration. Let me see the instrumentation. Here we see the two figures. This is the potentiometric setup for the titration. Let me see the principle for this potentiometric titration. In potentiometric titration, the EMF between the two electrodes, an indicator electrode and the reference electrode of constant potential, is measured. The absolute potential with respect to standard half cell is usually not required, and the difference in the EMF of the two electrodes is measured during the progress of the titration. In that, the equivalence point of the reaction is revealed by sudden change in the potential in the plot of EMF, which is versus the volume of the solution is added. Means potential of the potential in the plot of EMF versus volume of the solution. We plot this graph. In the apparatus, we see B is the battery which is supplies working current, R is the variable resistance, and V is the voltmeter. In G is represented as galvanometer, is critically damped by a resistance RT. Critically damped by resistance RD. A reversible switch S2 which connects the reference electrode ER. ER is the reference electrode, EI is the indicator electrode. This S2 which is connected to the reference electrode ER and indicator electrode EI. In this instrument can be operated when the electrodes are dipped in the test solution. The reference electrode and indicator electrodes are dipped into the test solution, and closing S1 and adjusting R until there is no deflection in the galvanometer. Finally, the voltmeter reading is recorded. The solution must be stirred during titration using a magnetic stirrer. The solution is must stirred during the titration using a magnetic stirrer. For the basic or other solutions requiring the exclusion of atmospheric CO2 or air, in that use of 3-necked flask is proposed. The nitrogen may be bubbled through the test solution before and if required during the titration. A use of compact calomel half cell as a reference electrode is recommended. Reference electrode used as a calomel electrode. Let me see. This is the principle for the potentiometric titration. So we see what is the procedure for this titration. In that we see the EMF of the cell which is containing the test solution is determined. EMF of the cell, the test solution is determined. This will be connecting the cell of the potentiometer, and the titrant solution which is in the microburette is added, and the EMF is determined after each addition. EMF is determined after each addition. The approach of the equivalence point can be seen by somewhat more rapid change in the EMF and its neighborhood. The equivalence point equal but very small increments like 0.1 to 0.05 ml. 0.1 to 0.05 ml should be added. Means very small increments like 0.1 or 0.05 ml it will be added. It is important to see that the sufficient time should be allowed after each addition for the indicator electrode to attain a reasonably constant potential before the next addition. Okay, there are several beyond the equivalence point should be obtained. This is the procedure for the potentiometric titration. Means we take a test solution which is also called as a analyte. In that we add the needle and we add the two electrodes. One is the reference electrode, another one is the indicator electrode. These two indicators are coupled with potentiometer, and the titrant solution we add in the burette. This will be added in the test solution by 0.1 to 0.05 ml, and we take a readings, and in that we get the different equivalence point to obtain by adding the titrant solution. This is the procedure for potentiometric titration. Next we see the actual location of these endpoints. In location of endpoints, first we see the graphical method. In this graphical method, the endpoint for a potentiometric titration may be established in a number of ways when the EMF reading are plotted against volume of titrant added and S-shaped curve is obtained. The endpoint can be located on the steeply rising portion of the curve, and in fact it should occur at the point of inflection. The curve shown marked steeped portion. The volume of the endpoint may be taken as a midpoint of the steep part of the curve. So, for exact estimation of the midpoint can be done using the geometrical construction such as first bisection method, second parallel tangent methods, and third circle filling method. These are the three methods for the estimation of the endpoint, which is done by the geometrical constructions. Second, we see the first derivative plot method. In this method it is observed that the rate of change of potential with addition of titrant is maximum at the endpoint. So, if we plot the rate of change of potential per unit change of volume of the titrant, that is del E upon del V. It means if we plot the rate of change of potential per unit change in volume of the titrant, that is del E upon del V against volume of the titrant, then the peaked curve result and peak of this peak occurs at the end point. So this is conventionally done by adding small equal increments of titrant near the endpoints. If the reaction is not symmetrical, the point of maximum slopes differ from the endpoints. In this derivative, this is the first derivative curve. In that, the slope of the titration curve as a function of V is shown in this figure. So the volume which is used is the average of the two volumes used to calculate del E, and the endpoint is theoretically the maximum of this plot, which may be obtained on extrapolation. This extrapolation leads to uncertainty, which can be partially avoided by a second derivative plot. Let me see this second derivative plot method. In this method, the slope of the curve of B, slope of the curve of this B as a function of V should pass through the 0 at the equivalence point mathematically. So in this second derivative becomes 0 at the inflection point and provides a more accurate result, and its determination of the equivalent points, the point of del square E upon del V square against V, and in this figure del square E is the difference between successive del E values and del V square is the difference between the two successive volumes which are associated with each del E, and the average of these two volumes is plotted against del square E upon del V square. This is the second derivative plot. This second derivative plot, it becomes 0 at the inflection point and it provides a more accurate determination of the equivalence point. These are the locations of the end point of the potentiometric titration, and in the next we see the application of potentiometric titrations. Let me discuss the application of potentiometric titration. First, neutralization reaction, second, oxidation reduction reaction, third, precipitation reaction, and fourth, complexation reaction. Let me discuss the first application, neutralization reaction. We already know that neutralization reaction, any neutralization reaction of acid and base involves the change in concentration of H plus and OH minus ions, and therefore the hydrogen, glass or antimony electrode, hydrogen, glass and antimony electrodes may be employed as an indicator electrode in this titration, and the calomel electrode is generally used as a reference electrode. In this neutralization reaction, strongly acid, strong base, strong acid, strong base, strong acid, weak base, weak acid, strong base, weak acid, weak base, This titration can be carried out by this method. In this method may be employed in titration of mixtures of acids. Those differ widely in their strength against a base. For example, a mixture of HCl and CH3COOH can be titrated against the NaOH to understand the individual concentration of acid in their mixture. So, the advantage of the potentiometric titration method is that it appears the titration of polybasic acids, for example the oxalic acid, it titrates against the base NaOH. In this titration, the experimental data provides that the different stages of neutralization of polybasic acids, and in that the potentiometric titration of phosphoric acid with sodium hydroxide yields directly the number of distinct steps of various neutralization. This is the first neutralization reaction, and in that we see the strong acid, strong base, strong acid, weak base, weak acid, strong base, weak acid, weak base titration. This will be carried out by this method. Second is the titration involving oxidation reduction reaction. In these reactions, the redox titration can be studied potentiometrically by using the inert metal is that the platinum. Inert metal is that the platinum, which is referred as a indicator electrode. In the inert metal, which is acts as a oxidation reduction reaction and whose EMF is determined by the ratio of the substance being oxidized or reduced. Its EMF is determined by using the ratio of substance by using oxidation and reduction. So the potential E, which is acquired by the indicator electrode, and it is given by the E is equals to E standard plus RT upon NF ln of oxidation divided by reduction. And in that the reference electrode is used as a saturated calomel electrode. Its example is that an acidic solution of ferrous is titrated with a standard KMnO4. Acidic, in that example is that, what is the example? Acidic solution of ferrous is titrated with standard KMnO4, or steric Ce4 plus solution using platinum as an indicator electrode, and standard calomel is used as a reference electrode. In this way, the many reducing agents like as nitrite, oxalate, iron, vanadium, tin, titanium, uranium, arsenic, these may be titrated using the oxidant, and the commonly used oxidant include the potassium permanganate, potassium dichromate, ferric sulfate, potassium iodate, potassium bromate. These are commonly used as a oxidants. And in this titration we use the KMnO4, means acidic solution of ferrous is titrated with the standard solution of KMnO4. This is the titration involving oxidation reduction reaction, and it also occurs the S-shaped curve and its equivalence point at the midpoint. This is the titration involving oxidation reduction reaction. Next we see the potentiometric precipitation titration. Let me discuss potentiometric precipitation titration. In this titration, the metal ions of mercury, silver, lead, copper forms insoluble salts when suitable reagents are added to them. It is a basis of precipitation titration. This type of titration can be followed potentiometrically, and the indicator electrode may be made up of indicator electrode which is may be made up of metal, and which is depends upon the reaction involved in that. Also it is made up of by electrode whose electrode potential depends upon the concentration of anion being precipitated. So the electrode potential changes at the equivalence point, and it depending upon the solubility of the substance that precipitated and the concentration which involved in that. Also, the precipitation titration of chloride ions with standard AgNO3 solution using silver metal as a indicator, and indicator electrode and reference electrode which is used as a saturated calomel electrode. In the similar way, if we estimated the chlorine, bromine and iodide ions from their mixture is possible by potentiometric precipitation titration against the standard solution of AgNO3. In that, the solubility product of AgI, AgBr and AgCl, these are widely differing by their I minus, Br minus and Cl minus, which are precipitate to different stages of titration. We get the different stages of titration. Also in that we use the indicator electrode as a silver metal, and reference electrode we use the saturated calomel electrode. This is the potentiometric precipitation titration. So next we see the complexation titration reaction. In that we see the potentiometric determination of some metal ions. Let me discuss the fourth application, that is complexation reaction. In that we see the potentiometric determination of metal ions. In the first, copper second ion can be estimated by titrating its solution with standard Na2S2O3 solution using platinum and saturated calomel electrodes. Platinum used as a indicator electrode and saturated calomel electrode is used as a reference electrode, and this copper second solution is estimated with the Na2S2O3 solution. In the second, chromium in the form of CrO4 2- or Cr2O7 2-. These chromium ions can be estimated by titrating its solution with standard ferrous ammonium sulfate solution and using the platinum as the indicator electrode, and saturated calomel is used as a reference electrodes. And third, the ions can be estimated by titrating its solution with the standard EDTA solution and using as a platinum black as a indicator electrode and saturated calomel electrode as a reference electrode. These are the 4 applications of the potentiometric titrations. Okay, we will stop here. Thank you.